Big changes are coming to the industry we know and love. And today I'm really happy to bring you guys the information on why this may be. And of course, we are on the side of good in this case, I strongly do believe. Now, most of us are on the side of good because we want to make money, right? But that also means you're on the side of good. And there's also the side of, I don't want to say evil, but definitely the side of old money that doesn't want this to prosper. And I kind of get it, right? I kind of get it. Like if I was an old man, right, when I eventually will be an old man, let's say 80 years old, and I'm used to living in the ways that I am, maybe I will be more opposed to changes to things that I hold standard. Does that make sense? So we're going to discover what the big change really is today. Of course, we're going to do our usual thing and jump into some altcoin research today. I've got a really exciting video I'm posting tonight that you guys must watch. It's going to be 100x potential altcoins. I'm going to throw the word 100x around. I haven't thrown that word around for quite some time. But today we're not going to look at those. On today's video / live stream, whatever you want to call it, we're going to look into catching up to speed on the news. I was obviously away yesterday. I had my one day off have during the week. And yeah, I'm really excited to bring you guys what's happening. So how are we all doing today? Hopefully we're all well. Thank you all for being here. If you are here and you do enjoy what I do bring you on a daily basis, the way that I know that you enjoy it is by a like on the video or on the live stream. So thank you so much. What's going on? GG. We are able to talk more about this later on, my man. If you're still in here when we talk about altcoins, definitely drop that comment again. Solana's going ape shit in the last 2 months. Yeah, it has been, bro. I think Solana's going to absolutely just surprise so many people. Jamie Dimon is full of shit. He owns crypto. I 100% agree. Obviously, you saw Mr. Diamond in the thumbnail. We will touch on some of his comments, of course, today. What up, Spy? Francisco, what's going on, brother? Hello from Puerto Rico. Awesome. I converted my Doge into Solana when it was at $25. Nice, man. We'll talk more about Flux later on. What's going on, YouTube? What up, Chili? Alrighty, guys. HBAR, let's go. Yeah, we got some HBAR news today. Just touching up on kind of what's happened over the last few days. Of course, no one, I think like I don't want to spend like when the news drops, we can spend a good 5 minutes on the news, but over the next I guess couple streams, I think it's pretty important to just mention what's occurred because no one's watching every live stream, and this is purposely built around news. So that's what we're going to focus on, of course, and just making sure everyone in the community is up to date on the same page. It's the most important thing. So hopefully you guys have had a good last 48 hours without me here. We're going to touch on some of this right now. Let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, as we always are, the Bitcoin or the crypto heat map over here, 43,300 price of Bitcoin, down slightly. Yeah, it's down. I think we touched 44. Hey, these things happen. We can't be green. Now, the way I kind of see the crypto market right now is essentially like a mini bull run. Like the feeling and the vibe I've gotten from the community, not just this community, but the general crypto community, has literally been, we're in a bull run. This is a bull run. And it's kind of crazy, right? It should give everyone, and I'm telling you right now, everyone that hasn't been in the bull run, this feeling of this mania is just like probably 1/3 to 1/5 of what it's going to be like in 2025. So just prepare yourself for this, right? It's definitely going to get crazier, but it's a taste. It's a taste. ETH kind of course, gone up a little bit here, just like the waterfall dictates, right? Bitcoin, ETH, so on and so forth, and it trickles down. But I don't think you should live and die by that. I think a very big mistake people are going to feel like they have to follow is buy Bitcoin, hold Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes to like 100K, sell my Bitcoin, buy ETH. Just like, no, because you're at that point probably buying ETH at like fucking $10,000 a token, right? So you don't want to do that. Again, you want to kind of split your portfolio into your main bags you hold to avoid capital gains tax, and your small bags in which you can, maybe take some profits off the main bags or hold for new coins, so on and so forth. So, I mean, we're up about 55% right now, guys. Can you remember the day? It wasn't long ago when we were down here, right? And we basically were at this level quite a bit in the last, basically since early this year, right? Traveling around the $1 trillion global market cap. We have seen about $600 billion flow into this market in a very, very short period of time, a few months. And so again, I just want to reiterate for those who are like, well, we won't see, these projects go up, 100x. We won't see a project that's valuated at $1 billion, potentially 100x. Yes, I know, calm the moon boys down. I'm not trying to be a moon boy. I'm just trying to paint the legitimate picture that sounds moon boy, and not every project will do that. But there are projects valuated at $1 to $2 billion that potentially could get between a 50 to 100x. So we've seen it already. This, in a very short period of time, we're back in 2019, guys. We have 2 years to go still, right? Plenty of time. Now, what are the trending cryptocurrencies right now? Well, none that I really know. I've heard of Stratus, of course, before. Bitcoin Cash, Nano, Dash. None of the coins I'm really interested in. Of course, you have your average sort of micro cap or whatever it might be pumping. So nothing too crazy here notable today, fellas. But let's get into the news. First of all, I will alter the page here. There we go. So the main bit of news that I want to share with you, of course, here today is basically what I've titled the video, right? A big change coming to crypto here. Now, let me turn the aircon off because I'm literally freezing my balls off. This change could affect a lot of people, right? And it's the potential that Bitcoin ordinals might cease to exist here. Now, they're fighting it, right? There's people saying, hey, we want to keep it still. And I would assume the miners, as we'll see in a second, want to kind of keep it. But it is actually, I think, a negative to the Bitcoin network. Now, we've seen a particular Bitcoin developer. He's mentioned in this here by the name of Luke. I think it's Dash. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Let's just call him Dash Jr., right? Luke Dash Jr. He's trying to get rid of it. He's been anti-ordinals apparently for a long time now. And he says that it's an exploit, right? He says it's a vulnerability and it's spamming the blockchain, which it is. Like, Bitcoin fees per transaction have increased a lot. And of course, we're paying more money, but miners like that, right? Miners mainly make their money right now from securing the network by getting a block reward. Okay, they get a block reward for putting in their work, securing the network, so on and so forth. Now, over time, right, when these block rewards become so small and so insignificant that it actually tethers out to not even being like main profit anymore, at that point in time, it's likely that transactions will be so much on the network, apparently, that these miners will be getting rewards through transactions, right? I don't know how true that is. Bitcoin being a store of value, not a transaction-based network anymore. Will that probably play out? That might be a potential issue in the future. But that's neither here nor there right now. We're not worrying about that, right? So either way, that's kind of situations playing out right now, but they're also getting their high block rewards, right? They're getting pretty good money back. So it's an issue, right? We just I think it's like, it might be a report I've got over here, maybe jumping the gun over here, but basically it's gone from like an average of like $2 apparently per transaction, and I've never paid $2 for a Bitcoin transaction before, mind you, up to an average of $14. So you work that out. It's just a matter of like 5, 6, 7x more expensive, because Bitcoin ordinals are, while they like basically add data to an individual Satoshi, right down 100 millionth of a single Bitcoin, it still, of course, means that there's more being processed on the network, right, basically. And it's interesting because he's saying, so this Luke Dash Jr. guy is saying, well, again, it's a spam on the network. Bitcoin's not designed to be doing this. The fees are going up. It's just becoming ridiculous. And as he said, it can become a spam on the network, which makes a lot of sense to me, right? But then we have this guy over here, and he's saying it's the complete opposite, right? He's saying essentially miners want to keep this. And basically, you have to have miners and nodes agree to a Bitcoin change or a soft fork in order for it to become a reality, right? They have to upgrade their code in order to abide by any change. Otherwise, it's just not going to be efficient, right? And so this guy says, from a miner perspective, removing high fee transactions, which of course has come from these ordinals rather, reduces miner revenue. Who is going to actively adopt a new software upgrade to earn less revenue? With over $100 million in network fees paid by these transactions so far. It's a lot of damn money. And it makes sense. As a miner, if you've made a noticeable increase from all of these this new ordinal wave. And by the way, there are quite a few, as you can see here, projects in the ordinals category. Why would you want to change that, right? But again, for the end user, for us, we don't like that shit. We're paying more money for Bitcoin transactions. But again, that debate comes up. Like, we're not using Bitcoin for transactions. We're using Bitcoin now for a store of value that's kind of changed hands over time as they've changed the network. So really, people aren't, like my dad, for example, he was like, hey, buy some Bitcoin for me. How much am I going to have to fork? He's used to bloody ETFs and managed funds. Like, how much do I have to pay for basically the broker fee, right? I was like, maybe $10, $15 for a transaction. And he's like, again, this is Australian, by the way, this is not American. And he's like, that's fine. That's whatever, right? So, but if it becomes a transaction-based network where that's going to have to happen, like you're doing lots of transactions, then that becomes a very big issue. So, I don't think it's really that big of an issue right now. But of course, if it's going to slow the network down, and I think one of these reports mentioned that there is a backlog of hundreds of thousands of transactions in the mempool. Remember, there's only so many transactions you can add per Bitcoin block. They're only so big. What is it, like 25 megabytes? I don't know, something like that. It's very small. Only so many transactions you can add to that. And then so the mempool is basically imagine it like a queue of transactions in the mempool, and then they batch off and they get added to the next block, and then continues to add and continues to be placed in the next block. But there's a massive backlog right now because of ordinals, and he's thinking it's bad, and I think it is bad. If you're asking me, my opinion, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think we've dictated what Bitcoin is and what it has become. That's the free market for you, and I think right now we're just trying to tack on all of this. Like, why? Why the fuck are we trying to add to a slow network? I was talking to Mark the other day, and I mentioned something that I actually agree with. Sometimes we just absolutely talk just nonsense to each other. It's funny, but I said something that I actually really do stand behind, and it's just like, imagine, GTA 6 coming out, running that on an old like 2010 Mac or whatever it might be, right? Like, why are we trying to make that work for? Let's just forget about it. Let's not use Bitcoin, overload it. We know what it's used for now, and move on. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. This could be a big change because we're talking about, billions of dollars thrown around in these ordinals projects, right? Audio over here at $1 billion. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. Of course, it's split. It's a tug of war right now. This kind of reminds me a little bit. I wasn't around back then, but of the Bitcoin, civil war, big blocks versus small blocks. I don't want to confuse you guys with what that really means, but essentially there could be a little bit of a confrontation happening here. And I want to say, I'm not trying to scare you out of your investment here, but if you are invested in any of these projects, just keep in mind that things might be changing soon. So stay aware, and I will try to keep you up to date as much as I can on the daily news. So we also have more, touching on this sort of thing. Yeah, Bitcoin ETFs edge closer. Now, I was talking again, Mark, about this morning, and I'm a human too, right? And I'm a human too, and I deem Mark as a very intelligent crypto investor. I look at him as an equal. I look at all of us as equals, right? But in terms of like knowledge on the space, I like to ask him for a second opinion all the time. And, like, what's going to happen? Are we going to have a retracement? And these are things that's always good to talk to your peers about. And, he thinks we definitely will. And I agree, but I don't know if it's going to happen. When I say retracement, I don't mean like a 40% retracement. I mean like a, 5% global market retracement, which might be something significant for alts. But as these ETFs edge closer, and I really do believe they're going to be approved, in January. And if not, March, that's the next due date, then it's going to be, I think, only up for quite a while because, of course, then we have the halving happening soon after that, about 3-4 months after. So, as I mentioned over here, spot Bitcoin ETFs add closer to reality as SEC talks hone closer in on key details. Right now, the fact that they're being more exact with this information, of course, if you're living under the sun for any period of time, which we all are, that obviously means they're ironing out the details like we spoke about last time to, of course, bring these into fruition. Talks between the US SEC and several asset manager firms concerning the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs have now delved into advanced technical details. The sources, right, which are the people who asked not to be named, but who have knowledge of the proceedings, told the news organization that the regulator will likely greenlight the ETF application soon. Now, again, soon could be this next deadline, or it could be the deadline after. In the grand scheme of things, March next year is like what, 4 months away from now. So that's soon, and I believe that's soon. So again, big stuff happening, and I just want to keep bringing this up as long as the news keeps unraveling. Now we have James over here, James Serafit. I think I keep pronouncing the poor dude's name wrong, but he would be one to follow as well. Now, obviously, I come out with news every day on this, but again, if you're not on crypto Twitter, if you're not on Twitter in general and following crypto accounts, you're playing the game wrong. You are setting yourself up for failure. Everything in crypto is based on news, fast news. So this is the guy to follow. I'm telling you right now, and I'm not following him, of course, but I've got him saved. He's the one to follow and based on all this information. So I check up on him before every live stream, right? Because I want to see what's happening. And of course, you can in just general news, like I showed you there. But of course, as it said, there's been inside sources saying that it's going to be approved. And basically what this guy said recently as well is that they're ironing out the details. They're getting very, very close. So yeah, be prepared, guys, because a question I'm going to answer soon from last live stream was from James. He donated 10 euros. It's been the first question I answer. Basically was the video I posted last night as well, which was touching on, hey, my altcoins are up quite a bit right now. Do I DCA because this amazing news is going to happen, or are we going to have some sort of retracement? We'll touch on that when the time comes in about 20 minutes or so. So the man, the myth, the legend. Well, I shouldn't say that for all the wrong reasons, right? The notorious man himself, Jamie Dimon. Let's hear what he had to say on crypto recently here. And then we'll touch on some very interesting things that have happened with JP Morgan, right? So I'm not too sure if you guys can actually hear this or not. I'm going to be quite concerned if you can't. Let's hope so. Interesting. Okay. So I don't know if you guys heard that. Hopefully you have. Just by the way, let me know if you did hear that. Just with a yes or a no. Can't hear. Okay. Maybe I'm going to go back and I want you guys to hear this. Let's have a look. So annoying. Let me know if you can. Let me guys know if you can hear it now. I'm just going to turn it down on my side. Could you guys hear that? Okay, well, if you can't, I'm going to figure it out for next time. It sucks because I've got another audio clip coming up here soon. Maybe we will quickly, just bear with me here, fellas. Let me see if I can diagnose the problem. All right, I think I might have found the issue. Okay. I'm going to have to share a tab. Oh my God, that's so annoying. Maybe not, fellas. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. Here we go. You should be able to hear this now. Let's replay it.
And
I've always been deeply opposed to crypto, Bitcoin, et cetera. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance. If I was the government, I'd close it down.
All right, so you can hear that. Excellent stuff. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, thanks, guys. Awesome. So, I mean, you heard it from the man himself, right? Kind of killed my flow, right? I was in a flow state, but you heard what he said, right? And so anyway, it got me thinking, right? Because we saw this report here. So what did he say, right? He said the only use case is for criminals, drug traffickers, money laundering, tax avoidance. And yet, JP Morgan is the second largest penalized bank, having paid $39.3 billion in fines across 272 violations since 2000. So, I mean, you guys know already, Jamie Dimon's been, I've seen multiple interviews with him already. The guy doesn't know absolutely jack shit about Bitcoin. He's like, I remember in one interview, he was like, they can just mint new Bitcoin out of nowhere. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But the really interesting thing from this dude is that, and see, now I'm going to have to transfer back over here because StreamYard doesn't let me do it that way. Okay, here we go. Because they have JP Morgan coin. They have a coin forked from Ethereum that they slapped the name on it, JPM coin, right? How interesting. How hypocritical. They're saying shut down blockchain technology, and I get it, right? Crypto and blockchain are synonymous, but they're different, right? They're known for the same thing, okay? But fundamentally, blockchain technology underpins crypto. Crypto is the fact that we can buy coins, and the coin is used within an economy within that blockchain. But I still think it's kind of silly because you have to have the JPM coin, right? So I don't know. I was still going to mark again about this earlier on, and we definitely feel like he's trying to push the price down for a reason. He's a banker, right? He is a banker at heart, and bankers, speaking from an ex-banker over here, by the way, and again, I wasn't even that far up the stack, by the way, at all. Interesting people. One of the reasons why I left banking was because you're told to sell to, doesn't matter who comes through that fucking door, you got to sell. And it could be an 80-year-old man who doesn't need insurance. And you got to upsell him insurance because, it's just like, I'm not trying to, this is the same at every fucking bank. And it gets worse up the stack because now you're not just doing insurance for the little old man from a rural town. You're now dealing with, potentially manipulating the markets. And as we saw, of course, before, screwing people over for billions, maybe even trillions, these guys have had 272 violations. So, they call it, a case for criminals. I'm telling you right now, they're literally looking in a mirror right there. So anyway, found that quite interesting. And I thought I would let you guys know. And we also had, of course, Senator Warren backing the man up here. So, it is what it is in this case, but we must press on. We all know we all know their stance on crypto. And it's interesting because, I would argue that typically this might have dropped the price of Bitcoin a little bit, done some harm to the market here, but actually, funnily enough, it didn't do anything basically, right? We're down, but it's healthy, we're down a little bit here, but I guarantee it would just be a healthy sort of a little correction here, if you will. So anyway, moving on. We have some news here from Do Kwon. I mean, look, this is nothing breaking. This is not breaking news here. It's come out basically yesterday. It looks like he's going to be extradited to the US to face criminal charges. Not officially. There is two situations that might play out here. Either he's going to be extradited to South Korea or the US. Now, Do Kwon's come out and said in the past, I want to be extradited to South Korea. Why? I can guarantee you right now, while criminals are still criminals, criminals in the South Korea are likely going to be a lot less vicious than in the US. I mean, if it was me, I'd prefer to be extradited to South Korea. That's for damn sure, over the US. So he's come out and said that before, and he's currently in Montenegro, and the Justice Minister over there said there's obviously been no official announcements of that decision, but I would love this absolute monkey of a man to be sent over to the US and be locked up over there and get treated as such. Because, I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, the dude, I mean, people lost their lives over that, right? People ended it all over that sort of thing. And so, yeah, anyway, it's kind of sad. Well, it's very sad, but, so I think he needs to be facing all the correct things. Now, I want to show you this clip, and I'm going to have to, again, found my recently new skill here, which is how to pump up the audio. Let's have a look. Alrighty. Listen to this. And I mean, you guys probably seen this already, but let's just have a listen in.
It's a cycle of life. You begin from nothing and go back to nothing. And that's exactly where I want to be. So I think Terra is going to be the decentralized money standard across the entire blockchain, across all the blockchains. And I'm excited for Terraform Labs to contribute a significant portion of that early vision, but eventually to go back to nothing.
Right.
Yeah. Excited.
I mean, this is the guy that's literally come out and said before that, he loves it when projects fail. He loves it. I think he was trying to be a bit of an edgelord himself, say these funny little cool edgy things, but it's just like life's come full circle. Karma is a real thing. And anyway, so if you guys don't know who Do Kwon is, basically he founded one of the biggest crypto projects in the last cycle, Terraform Labs. And anyway, so he's going down. Now, the last bit of news we have today before we jump into some of your questions, really excited about talking with you guys, is just an update. Of course, as I said in the introduction, we're going to touch on some updates that's come out, at least briefly, over a few days after they, kind of are breaking. And of course, the first one, but it's under the same thing here. It's all under the United Nations. Of course, COP28, which is a UN climate change conference. There's a whole bunch of different acronyms we can throw in the mix there. Basically, again, it's where a whole bunch of countries from around the world under the whole, United Nations bandwagon come together and fight climate change, find solutions to that. And we had Hedera speaking at this, and Hedera and the United Nations partnered with Envision Blockchain to create a sort of new open source managed Guardian service. Now, Hedera has their own Guardian service, so this is obviously built off that in the hopes of, or focusing on at least, digitizing focusing on digitize and digital measurement, basically reporting of carbon markets, right? Which is very interesting, which is very important, by the way, because just like I read an article this morning as well on not trade finance. What am I talking about here? Supply chain management. Like, this has been very difficult to track in the past. With blockchain technology, like, you can have everything tracked immutably, like forever, and there's no tampering with it. Like, it's irrefutable proof of things happening. Therefore, you can make alterations. Like, for the supply chain side, you can make alterations, find out, what's lacking and what needs improvement and what you can ultimately get rid of. And in this case, of course, you can make sure that everyone's abiding by the same laws. Now, people pressing me for a long time, Cohen, ESG isn't a real thing. Like, this whole narrative around the environment and essentially the World Economic Forum and the, UN in this case, whatever, like pushing for like all this big environment thing. Well, I was just like, we could tell from a mile away this is coming, because we have projects like Algorand and HBAR, as well, Near Protocol, all these big named blockchains. What are they focusing on, guys? Big proponent has always been scalability, fast, secure, and decentralized. But now there's another wing, which is being environmentally friendly. And so I feel like that is because they are talking with these sort of people, as we're seeing here with HBAR. Now, basically building this Envision, well, what are they calling it over here? Managed Guardian service on HBAR to track these things. They wouldn't do this for a blockchain that was computationally heavy, that was environmentally unsustainable. Okay, so the project aims to transform the carbon markets using blockchain tech, again, with HBAR. They say here built on HBAR. I don't think it is. I could be wrong. The report we read a few days ago wasn't built on HBAR. It was just built with HBAR tech. So just want to double check that, of course. And of course, over here it's all under the UN. Algorand as well launched a blockchain academy partnering with the United Nations, actually more so speaking, the United Nations Development Program, or UNDP. They're aiming to basically teach 22,000 plus members over 170 countries what blockchain tech is, how to adopt it, and all that sort of stuff into whatever they're doing for their own humanitarian purposes, right? So over here, this is kind of the way I want to look at it, right? Let me hide that. So this is what I made a video on a few weeks back, or a week ago or so, and it was basically just like looking at how to find quality crypto projects, right? What to look for here, and we spoke about this, but ultimately, you want to have the infrastructure first. You want to have validators, and then you have or at least the infrastructure, and then you want to have the actual thing itself, which supports everything that's built on top. But it must follow this structure, right? Projects are like, hey, we do 100,000 TPS and all that sort of stuff. Well, you're not going to have people using it for long because there's no infrastructure supporting it. But what really is under the infrastructure itself is education. This was something that's been pushed out a lot. I've had a few founders actually speak about this, and they say that time and time again, one of the biggest inhibitors of this industry growing is a lack of education on blockchain technology, smart contracts, all this sort of stuff, which is why we see a lot of these big players now, these big entities, these big, I guess you could say institutions as well, private and public, trying to study this more, right? And why do you think, like, again, JP Morgan, they have their own coin, for God's sake, right? They have their own blockchain. So anyway, I think, education underpins this, why I am quite bullish with this partnership, because who knows what will kind of come from this. So that's going to do today's news, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, again, we're just touching up in the last 48 hours here. And again, the big thing I would say, definitely, for those who missed this, by the way, definitely re-listen to the start of the video. The purpose behind this, the title for this live stream, the big change is coming, is there's a chance that ordinals could be siphoned off, cut off. And if you're one of the people that have bought any of these projects, well, again, be prepared. It's a big change. It is a big change for Bitcoin and crypto. And I think, as I said before, big things are coming. These ETFs are just around the corner. And if you are not considering this, if you aren't on top of the news, you're going to be left behind. It's how crypto works. Even a couple of days out of the loop, you're behind. Like, seriously, that's how fast the space moves. You hear it all the time, but until you live it, you'll just see. I mean, follow me, of course, every day with these news updates, and you will see for yourself. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's now jump over to the altcoin news for the day. Altcoin research, rather. What do you guys think about, first of all, what I've touched on so far, and is there any altcoins you're looking at eyeing off? Actually, first of all, before we get into this conversation, I will honor. So again, James, we cut the live stream off, and then obviously there's a delay in the live streams, and he donated, and the live stream had ended. So we will get to his question first. You guys can't see it, but it's on my screen here. James donated and said, I was happily DCAing into NIA, Mina, Ethereum, and a few others. I only have half of my targeted buys and feel I've missed the boat. Would you look for new projects after the recent movement? So James, as you know, if you're here, by the way, you're listening to this later, watch my video last night. Okay, so that basically answers the question. So, yeah. But if we go to like CoinMarketCap and have a look again at my watch list, just for quickly argument's sake here, again, so I don't have all of these bought. Like, I've only got half my NIA bags filled. I got it $1. And I'm not, like, for example, I'm not going to be buying NIA because, well, two reasons. The first is that if I buy NIA, my average buy-in price is going to be at a level in which will still be a bad level, in my opinion, to buy at, right? So I'm not doing that shit. And that kind of falls into the next one, which is, hover over the last, 12 months, basically here, the bear market, and just see this little dotted line again. Have a look, where are we right now? Well, have a look at what's above this, this little peak here, and these little, peaks over here. So basically, we were lower than this almost, you could say, 90% of the time in the last 12 months, which means if you just randomly picked a date in the last 12 months, you would likely be at a better buying price. So again, that's the second reason why I'm not buying NIA Protocol right now. Again, I bought literally perfectly down here. I just thought, I told you guys, I mean, I'm under $1.25, good time to buy, but under $1, I mean, that was just like, there's no denying. I should have put more. If I had more money, I would have put more in, of course. And I mean, just look at that. It's literally like linear growth right now. It's kind of crazy. But so that's what I would do as well. And in answering your question, so you kind of, targeted out NIA, Mina, and so on and so forth. Have a number in your mind, brother. Have a number in your mind. This is how many tokens I have to accumulate to achieve my goal of X. Again, it always works back from an end goal. always. If you're someone who's trying to, just like a business, you have to come up with a business plan. Even to get loans out in a bank, you have to show the bank your business plan. And if you're someone that lacks a plan, again, what do I always say? You fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you don't have that sorted out, where are you going? What are you trying to accomplish? Like you just want multiples? I just want to make money in crypto. All right. Well, how much? Well, 30x sounds about good. All right. Well, when your project 30x is, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you going to get out of your project? No, you're going to stay in because you feel greedy. It's just human nature. I'm speaking literally for myself right now. So yeah, James, what I would do in your case, my man, is your exact same position right now. I'm not buying Multiverse X. I'm not buying Algorand. Fuck that shit. This is up like 2x from when I wanted to get in. I'm not buying XLM right now. I'm not buying Near Protocol right now. If anything, I'm going to buy XDC. But XDC is I want it to fall back down just under 5 cents. So for me, all of this stuff is just to hold off. I'm just all the money I'm making right now, all the revenue is just going into cash. Cash. Yes, if I find an altcoin I like and I've done my research, I will buy it. I'm thoroughly invested in mentally and time-wise invested in these projects. I know what they're doing, confidence. But anything else can wait. So that's what I would say, my man, is be a robot. Be a robot. I know personally, I need to see, realistically speaking, $1.25, minimum $1.50 buy-in price for Near Protocol to hit my 30x goal. Okay? If it doesn't hit, I'm a robot. I'm not buying. I'm not buying. It's simple as that. I've missed it. Sorry, Near. I've got half my bag in. That's it. There's going to be other projects or, again, a correction. Hopefully that helps, my man. We have another donation in here from Great Oaks. Good to hear from you again, my man. It's been a while. Been a while. Sorry, been so busy. This year is up. I swear I didn't read your comment before I said that. Yeah, good to hear from you, brother. Yeah, it's so good, man. If you make the streams, you make the streams. You can always watch later, and life comes first, man. I live and breathe crypto, and I think you guys should too. I want the best for you all in this next bull run. I want you all to just make money. And again, I'm just really worried because we might not have another bull run. Watch my videos on the reasons why. We might not have another bull run. So it is so important that you are as attentive as possible, but you don't have to rock up to the live streams. You can watch them later. Glad you're here, though. I'm glad to hear you're up too. Green days are upon us. They are right now, but I mean, this is nothing. When you see projects at a 2 billion market cap move up 2-3x in 7 days, that's when you know. Well, I just bought some XDC, says MWO. I mean, it's not a bad price right now, man. It's not a bad price right now. Don't think because I'm not buying right now. I'm very strict with my buys. I'm looking for the difference between here, right? I want under 5 cents. It's just how it is for me. So I think XDC will do quite well. I almost see it like a bit of a H bar, right? I almost see it going to a couple dollars. And it gets lower market cap. So those multiples are even easier for it to hit. So how much am I buying of XDC? I think I've got it all written down. My total bag needs to be, I think, $100,000. 100,000. Holy shit. 100,000 tokens, but I can check that. I've got it all, again, have your numbers written down. Yeah, 100,000 XDC I want to get, so that's 5K along. Almost there. Like the channel, says Angus. My man, $5. Thank you so much. $5 just to say, you know what, Claren? I fucking like you, man. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. By the way, guys, if you like the stream, if you like the news, if you like the consistency, drop a like. It tells me again that you appreciate the work. I mean, you sitting here viewing is great, and I appreciate that a lot. That means fucking more than you know, right? But when you hit that like button, I look back, I look at the like ratio, and I think, okay, these guys fucking enjoyed this. Well, at least you didn't buy quant. Yeah, no, my quant bag's full right now, bro. My quant bag's full. I mean, hey, I got no problem with that one. I'm waiting 2 years. So, for example, maybe I've missed your first half of your question here, bro. But I'll answer this one. Let's have a look. For example, Optimism is 50% above where I sold half of it. So instead of continuing to invest in Optimism, are you suggesting that I leave the rest and invest in another coin? Well, so you say it's above 50% of when you bought in, right? But still, 50% of where you bought in might be a good time to buy. I bought a big chunk of my H bar bag at like 4.5 cents ish. Maybe a bit low. I don't even know what it felt to, but about 4.5 cents. And then I also bought in at 6 cents. Okay. So, that's not to the degree of what you're talking about here, but it was still like, what's that even, like 33% maybe? So, that's still quite a lot. And so it can work out averages. Okay. So if you buy in now, don't think half my portfolio is bought at this price, half is at this price. It's the average of those two. Okay. So let's just say, keep it simple. You bought at $1 and then, well, let's just say $1 and then it's up at $2.16 right now. First of all, this is a no-go for me. Like being up 25% today, I wouldn't buy now, first of all. And it could go up another 2x from today. It could definitely, and then drop back down again. That's true. You could, I could have missed that. But we've got to be risk to reward ratios here, right? If you're someone who wants to play this correctly, it's always risk to reward ratios. The risk to reward in this case, the risk outweighs the reward. It might shoot up 2x, but it might not. Anyway, back to your question. So if you, again, let's just say $1 here, average in at, say, let's just say $1.60 if you buy in now, right? $1.60. If that $1.60 still meets the price prediction and your ROI from it, like you want a 30x, the price prediction here within reason, your average sell level is, $30, and you look for that and you go, okay, $1.60 into $30, that's about, let's just say for easy sake, 15x. I want a 50. That's great. Still, that's good stuff. Don't complain, right? But if you're like, well, hang on, no. Now I'm decreasing that and I want my 30x out of optimism, but now I can't achieve that because I'm averaging up 50 cents higher or 60 cents higher, then don't do it. Then in that case, find a new altcoin. That's what I'm saying, correct? Okay, so again, we want to work back from our goals. That's why I always say have a rough price prediction. That's why I literally took like 3 days. Me and Mark took like 3 days to make this sheet for you all. By the way, the private community is going to have a much more comprehensive and updated version of this. We had to go through and find all the supply. Like, guys, you don't know how much time this took for the sole reason for you to have a look at these levels as an indicator. Okay? Use these and then think to yourself, right? If you're someone who wants to buy Ethereum, $16,000, okay? And you're buying now, and that might be an 8x, but you're someone who wants a 10x, don't buy it. Simple as that. Simple as that. I'm a newbie to crypto. I appreciate the information. My man, I'm glad to hear that. First of all, welcome. I'm glad you're here, bro. Don't get overwhelmed. Just stay on top of it all. Just do a little bit of research every day. That's all I ask of you. Do your own research. When you get taught something, I feel like it's different to when you actually research it and find it out yourself. The aha moment, you'll never forget something. So just a little bit every day. Don't worry about the tech so much, my man. Just focus on, again, like it might be bad for me to say this, and I don't want you to, again, none of this is financial advice, but you want to follow a Pumpamentals strategy, right? You want to kind of follow that strategy that I like to show you. You don't have to worry about getting into the tech. I'm just trying to find a sheet for you here so that I can show you what I'm talking about, but I can't. Anyway, it's all on my videos, going through the narrative, meme, popularity, tokenomics, team, all that sort of stuff. That's the most important thing. You research that, you'll be fine. Great live so far. Thanks, Richie. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for being here, man. GG says, currently holding 4 million VRA. First of all, thank you for the $5, my man. Currently holding 4 million VRA. Wow. 6.5 million TEL. Never heard of TEL before. 2,000 basically ICP, 52 quant, 31 million backs, 2.5 ETH. Could I make a 10x plus on my investment? I'll tell you right now, yes. Like, I don't even know what the fuck backs or TEL is, but I'm guessing, I haven't heard of them. They can't be that big, right? 174, so that's tiny. And And backs, again, like these might completely flop, bro. So you got to be careful. Like they're small projects, but it actually has greater risk in this case. This is the backs you're talking about? Yeah, okay. So I would, again, this is not financial advice. Nothing I say is ever financial advice. Let me just say that for starters. And I know you guys hear it 100 million times, but that's just first and foremost. Do I think a 10x from in that hypothetical situation? Yes. But just remember, you might have bought the 1,991 ICP today. You know what I'm saying? So when we're talking about like multiples here, it's multiples on whenever you bought in. All right. So again, if you spent, let's just say, you could have spent $10,000 today on that ICP holdings, okay, or you could have spent $5,000 a month ago, and you have more chance of multiples there, right? So, but like, let's just roughly say here you bought in. Yeah, I think just generally speaking to like where these projects can likely go, at least again, I'm speaking on the behalf of VRA and all that, from the current price, like worst case you bought in today, absolutely. I think ETH might be a bit of a stretch, my man, but we're already seeing it at $2,300. The all-time high was, well, that's actually going to be wrong. Yeah, 4,900. So, we're basically almost half of what the all-time high was already. So lots to go. So I think, yeah, I mean, I don't know if 18K ETH is going to hit, but so in my mind, the 18K ETH would, the ETH holding there would more so be your security against those riskier investments you've made. We're seeing some donations here, guys. I will get to your non-donation questions in a second. I just want to make sure that the guys are sending me the money, of course, they're paying to have their question answered ahead of time. So, Oaks, thanks again, brother. Dude, you're crazy, man. You're crazy. You're basically funding my portfolio at this point. Thank you, though, for the $5. I fucking like you a lot too. Thanks, my man. Sitting on my damn hands, accumulated when I was horrible. When it was horrible, I lack control. I check once a day and watch these streams. Excellent. Again, news is your best friend. Okay, so get the news from me and other people talking about news on a daily basis. Of course, you have to follow the right people on Twitter. So go to like my profile, go to a few other crypto influencers' profiles on Twitter as well, and just check what they're doing. Like videos take a while to get out, and sometimes we batch them. We do 1 or 2 videos a day or 3 videos a day, and we pump them out over the next 3 days, right? So you might have a video that was made 3 days ago. So like, don't look at videos per se as that's how I get my information. That should be like more of a learning lesson for you. Live streams, particularly ones that are talking about news, that's more up-to-date information. You also get someone's perspective on it. But again, crypto Twitter is where you want to be. And again, if you hold, okay, the equation is one altcoin should be 10 minutes of research per day. You can get away with 5 minutes, but 10 minutes is probably what you need, right? This is like research into their Twitter. And again, in my course, I've outlined what you need to look at exactly in that process, but 10 minutes, give or take. Okay. If you have, like, let's just say 20 altcoins, that's 200 minutes, right? That's 200. Can you dedicate like 3.5 hours to your research per day? No. So fix that shit. That's why I brought my portfolio down to 10 altcoins, because I can do that. 110 minutes a day, that's fine. But that's good. Thanks, brother. Because like sitting on your hands is a good thing though. Like that's the hardest part is knowing when to hold, knowing when to fold. And when I say fold, I mean buy, right? So it's just too easy once you have cash to buy. This is just simply a game. You think about it. If it was easy to make money, even in crypto, we'd all be rich. We'd all have stories to tell friends and family from the last cycle about how rich we were. 90% of people I talk to online, including influencers, didn't make money last cycle, or very little compared to what they could have. Why do you think that is? It's because we let our emotions change us. In the last cycle, I would be buying Near Protocol right now. I would have been, because I have money to spend on the Near Protocol. I just want to get my money and just not worry about it. But then everything else starts to crumble from there. I'll never hit my target. I'll be holding still because I don't hit my targets, and fucking the rest goes on from there. So let me see if I can catch up on some of these. Where can I buy my XDC? So the way you check that, bro, is just going to your list on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, and then finding XDC or whatever coin it is, going to see the markets tab, clicking markets, and that's where it is. You want to look for the ones that are, well, they have a confidence score here, which is, I guess, pretty good. But you want to try to find the one that's got the most volume, right? So as you can see here, HTX, yeah. So, and the least depth, by the way. So, but just look at, just mainly look at the volume. Just look at the volume. So KuCoin's like where I bought my XDC. You reviewed Crust Network for storage. Is it primed to pump? I used to bullish. So I reviewed that project. It would have been about 2 years ago now. And I remember, I'm pretty sure, like from memory, built on IPFS. They had actually a really cool interface. It was even back then. I was like, oh, this is nice and neat. I was spammed it quite a lot, not long ago, maybe 10 months ago. I had a massive wave of Crust people coming through, like review Crust. And I just didn't have time for it. So the space of decentralized storage, I think, is becoming harder and harder to be different. Because if you're built on IPFS, I mean, there's going to be more than that, of course. But generally speaking, I think you can just use IPFS. That's a lot of nodes. But again, is that the IPFS nodes or servers? I don't know. That's incredible. That's nice and low. That's really good to see. I'll have to look into Crust again, bro. I think storage is going to be a pretty important narrative, for sure. For sure. So it's still a parachain. Well, if you want to call them parachains. Okay, so you can become a node, is that right? And then just like, run everything through the node itself, so it's like more secure. Other than like sending it off to the network, you just do it all through the node. Anyway, man, I'll have to have a look into this because, okay, so storage isn't one I'm like overly involved with yet. I want to be, because again, what you want to look at here is, so the narrative it's in is storage. I don't know. Is it a layer one? I don't know. I have to have a look into it. Like, does it support applications like storage applications? If so, it's, storage and layer one primary narrative. Maybe you could even say it Polkadot parachain, but I wouldn't really classify that as a real true narrative. Okay, that's great. That's some really good. Let's just say it's layer one and storage. Cool, excellent. But now, what's different about it? That comes into the meme score, okay? And you want to assess that these two things, like fundamentally speaking, like that's 90% of the work you have to do in research here. I've already done half the work. That's easy. You saw me at 2 minutes right there. And again, the next thing the question you're trying to answer is, what's different about this versus Arweave, versus Filecoin, maybe even versus Nillion, for example. There's a few other storage networks out there as well. What separates it? And if you can't really say this particular thing separates it from the rest, it's fallen into the noise, my man. That's why projects fall off the map after a few cycles, because they're not a cut above the rest. They've fallen into the noise and the void. And the team's worn out. The team's like, well, fuck, what can we do? No one's using our shit, like so on and so forth. So That's what I would do straight away. What's the difference? Yeah. Hard to say if I'm bullish or not right now because I haven't looked into that, right? I'm looking into degen / AI gaming plays, Litho Rocky CNTM. Okay, man. I mean, I can. I'll screen grab this and I'll have a look into them because I mean, you guys have been literally telling me now. We want more gaming. We want more microcaps, so on and so forth. So that's what I'm here to do. You guys have been looking into them a lot longer than I have right now. Probably a lot of you a few months, and so I'm catching up, right? Thanks, my man. Hello, everyone from Australia. Welcome, man. If you are not Australian, then why are you not in Australia? Good question. No, I don't know. I'm not going to make this a political thing. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. Need more Polkadot love. Yeah, man. I don't know. Polkadot's struggling. Struggle street. Anyway. Polkadot and Polkadot-based projects have taken a bit of a hit, right? It was kind of weird because I got known for making Polkadot videos when I first in the last bull run. I did a whole bunch of parachain stuff, and people tuned in for that, and timed it really well. So my heart's always been in the right place for Polkadot, and I love the project. But I don't know, with this recent stuff with the whole governance and I don't know, it's just rubbing the wrong way, man. Why would you give $2 million? They've given this guy $2 million basically to make Polkadot content over the years for Polkadot education and all that sort of stuff. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me. No one in their right fucking mind is worth $2 million worth of videos, let alone a channel that's it's not always about views, but in this case it is because it's what you're getting paid for. So that rubbed me the wrong way. I check Twitter more than anything just to clarify. Good. Yes, you're on the right spot, my man. Bro, Jasmy coin. Jasmy's going nuts, really. Let's have a look here. What? Oh, did they change their ticker or has it always been Jasmy? Is it going nuts? It looks like it's barely moved to me. I don't know, man. I mean, I guess from down here it has. Just like most projects around October, they with all this positive news about the ETFs, but I don't know, man. Not a big fan of Jasmy. GG, thank you, my man. $5. Bought VRA at 4 cents, or 1/4 of a 40% of a cent. Let's just say that. And ICP at $3 and QNT at $97. Tell it 4 cent bags, currently worth 76. Okay, man, you're fine. Yeah, if you're looking for a 10x, bro, you'll hit that no problem. But that's it. If you're looking for a 10x and all that, get the 10x and get out. You know what I mean? Don't, because I've said to you, and I strongly do believe you'll get those altcoins will go well over a 10x. Just because I said that doesn't mean that you have to then look at something else. Again, if your goal is to 10x because you need let's just say $1 million to build a couple houses or do whatever you want to do, pay off your parents' mortgage, whatever it is, just stick with that. Stick with that goal. If you want to be more ambitious, that's fine, but just figure out what you're spending the extra money on, and then you might have to buy new altcoins. Not saying you particularly, but I think what you've got going on there is great. ICP at $3, fantastic. Quant at $97, fine, that's great. And you said here, I don't know what TEL is. Again, I don't know what its current price is. Okay, so you're a little bit down. You're 2x down basically on TEL, right? I mean, I don't want to give you a prediction for this one though, because I mean, yeah, I just don't know anything about it. So you have about 20k left to buy. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. That's awesome. You got a good chunk of change ready to inject in, and I'm waiting the same way. You will like 100% fill your bags up, and more if we go down to any sort of decent correction. That would be the dream. XRP is crap. AOS, yeah, we touched on AOS the other day. XRP is crap. I was just spamming it. Oh man. LimeWire, yeah. So LimeWire, why have I heard of LimeWire? Why have I heard of LimeWire? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Man, that's pretty cool. I like that idea. Yep, that's different. I've never really seen a project do this before. So it'd definitely 100% be in the AI narrative, big narrative. So yeah, I like it already. Got $1.99 here from Megan. Thank you so much, Megan. I wish I found you earlier. Best out there. Hey, better late than never, as they say, right? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that a lot. The main thing is you're learning. The main thing is you're learning. That's my full-time job, is to teach. So good stuff. I'm really happy to hear that. Robert with the $5. Thanks, my man. What do you think about Polka? PKR, super small cap games ONG coin. What do you think about this? I'll have a look at this now. By the way, guys, this will be the last question I answer today, just because we are over the 1 hour mark. Crazy stuff. I just don't even know how we get pushing to an hour mark every time. I'm trying to do 45 minutes and I just get carried away here. So let's have a look for you, Rob. PKR. Polka. Oh, okay. So it's not like polka dot. It's like poker player. I getcha. So PKR is an ERC20 standard token on the Polygon blockchain. PKR is a powerhouse behind poker, the play to earn. So, I actually don't know if I can show this on YouTube. I might get banned. I get kind of iffy because anyway, it's fine. The token itself is so much more than just utility token for poker. It's the economy of its own. Okay. I mean, you can't deny that gambling's a big part of crypto now. Okay. So it's a play to earn casino built on Unreal Engine 5. So I don't know how that works. I'm guessing just good graphics, right? I thought Unreal Engine. I mean, I guess Unreal Engine 5 you can create whatever you want in a 3D realm, but so that's going to be good. As for the size of the project, $2 million market cap, very, very small. Again, what did we say last time? Forget about the 24-hour trading volume, and it's going to be low anyway. I mean, I guess for a project this small, they have to have a decent following count, which they do, but how's the engagement levels? Very, very low. Very, very low. So you can almost take that $69,000, 69 follower count and just like literally throw it out the window. Yeah. I don't know, man. I personally wouldn't buy this. I wouldn't buy this. Yeah. It's just okay. So like, it's way too early on. A lot of cool, interesting buzzwords. Sounds really cool, I guess, from like a perspective of it's different. But is there any tangibility here? Again, if you're someone who likes like a real edgy micro cap play, hidden gem that could be like 1000x, well, this might be it. But I wouldn't risk my money, which I honestly fucking work hard for, right? And so I know all of you do as well in something like this. But again, this not FUD. It's not FUD at all. It's just my opinion on what I would or wouldn't do. That's just it, right? So that's going to do it for today, guys. Just simply because I am absolutely over the time allocation slot here of 45 minutes. Okay. Hopefully you have all enjoyed. Again, the main premise of this stream was to highlight, again, the big change, the ordinals change. And we actively have people still in out of crypto, rather, big names trying to take the industry down. And again, just to remind you all, these ETFs are coming. It's going to fundamentally change the space forever. So be ready. We have a month to go. Don't get left behind, or you're going to absolutely hate yourself for it. And until next time, I'll talk to you all soon. Have an absolutely amazing day, morning, evening, whatever it is. Talk soon. Bye.